Ladies and gentlemen, may I direct your attention to something quite extraordinary, quite incredible, quite unlike anything you may have experienced in your life.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to another episode of The Takeover Show. I'm your host, Misa, and with me, as always, owner of Next Gen Sports and Duchies. We give it up to my buddy, Ooey Gooey Chewy.
What up, guys? Welcome back.
Sheesh. Dude, last night was crazy, bro. We'll talk about it in a little bit. We went to the neon party over at Wet n Wild. Shit got crazy. Shit was dirty. Shit was loud. Shit was cool.
Fun, bro.
Yeah, but speaking of fun, speaking of cool, we got an awesome guest today, guys. He is the president of the El Paso Rhinos, a former El Paso Buzzards. Please give it up for Corey.
Yo, what's up, fellas?
My boy, welcome.
It's
Thanks
Semi
for having me on,
Corey.
How's the weekend?
Good, man. You know, just grinding
Dude,
as always. You know, it's
Never a day off.
no. You know, we're during the off season. It's a different busy because we're recruiting, and then just there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of moving parts, and it's just a different busy.
Do you like the off season?
No, I flip and hate it.
How long's the off season?
Luckily this year because we made the playoffs.
Congrats.
It's like whatever May through September, so 3 months.
Well, it's not too much, dude.
No, but it just
that means a lot of work. Then.
And the people that are involved with the organization know why I hate the off season. You know, it's obviously we're not playing, which sucks. And
boring.
First of all, it's boring, but it's just a different grind, and it's stressful.
Right.
You know,
it seems
just
stressful.
trying to recruit and budgets and all sorts of stuff, and it's tough, man. You know, it's tough.
It does look pretty. That the type of job that you have is a big job, and it's very intimidating. I don't know if I'd be able to do it, especially sober. But for those who might not know you, Corey, please kind of introduce yourself a little bit here for everybody.
So my name's Corey Heon. As you guys know, I'm the president of the El Paso Rhinos. I've been involved in the organization since day one, really. On all sorts of different platforms, from just we started a referee association. We didn't have one, so shoot, man.
Oh, damn.
We'll start one. So I started that. Not started. I was the one behind it.
Right.
When I say I mean we. Then I did broadcast, like play-by-play, for the
broadcasting.
For the games and, I was that kind of stuff. And probably in 2017-ish, the owner Corey Herman. So there's two Coreys for those that get confused. Him and I go way back since we've been 16 years old. He's my best friend, and he's like, "Hey, man, why don't you come on full time?" And I was like, "Man, I don't know, man, just because I didn't want the friendship thing, right?
Right.
Like that's more important to me than anything."
Respect.
And if just things go south, I don't do a good job, I don't like it, whatever the case is, I just don't want anything to come in between that. So we went back and forth for honestly probably about 2 months, and it had nothing to do with money or anything, but like. He was like, man, it'll be fine. But I was just like, so anyway, yeah, man, shit, here we are. Did it. And, it's, here we are, man.
That's awesome. So we were looking into you, man, doing some research. You did tell me when we first met that you're from Canada. You're from what? Calgary,
Alberta, man.
Alberta. Yeah, tell us a little about that. How was
Canada?
Are you a fan of Justin Bieber? I think he's Canadian too, right?
You know what? He is. Yeah, he's Canadian, bro.
He's my cousin.
You know what? I like JB. He's kind of a schmuck when he was a kid, but who wasn't, right?
True.
And I just having all that fame, all the money.
Hanging out with Diddy
who's
back
not
then.
going to turn into a douchebag?
Yeah, true.
Let's be honest. But I think he's overcome that, and then
father now, right?
Unfortunately, Britney Spears didn't. Man, what a wreck there.
Shit, what happened to her, dude? Hey, yo, Brittany, get on my podcast. Let's talk about it, girl. I know you're watching.
She could make. Man. Anyway, but yeah, I like JB, man.
Yeah,
I'm not a Drake fan.
Not a Drake fan?
Nah, dude.
Wow, that's crazy. I respect that, though, because it's for some people.
You know what?
Maybe it's not your generational.
I like the music. I don't know, dude. I'm not a self-centered kind of guy where it's about me.
Right.
And I think it is about him.
Mm-hmm.
Who goes Anyway, I'm not gonna
Look at him, dude. Damn, we're about to start a war.
Who goes on to a NBA game and
Starts.
you're on the court and you're part of the team, right? Julie?
Shooting.
true,
Like, hey,
dude.
We.
Hey, what? You wearing glasses, bro? What happened to your contacts, player?
So for those that
Jeffrey
don't know,
Dahmer.
my dumbass took
Mexican
him off,
Jeffrey
bro.
Dahmer.
I jumped in the pool and I opened a little bit, and I thought I had a backup pack, bro, and I took them off, and sure enough, I didn't. So here we are rocking the glasses.
You look good, man.
I appreciate that, boss.
Hey, he's fucking blind. Yesterday we were over at Wet and Wild, and he was wearing his shades, and then he was trying to wear his glasses underneath his shades, like, and I was like, dude, you look ridiculous. Take them off. And so he takes them off, and he's talking to me, and I was like, what the fuck are you looking at, dude? He
Were you
was
sober
looking
doing
literally
that, bro?
somewhere else.
I tried to get away with it, but I couldn't, bro. I couldn't see, bro.
Hey, man, it's about you, bro. Don't listen to everybody else.
Nah, bro, I ended up winning at the end of the night.
He did,
I had a
dude.
good time, bro.
He found himself a torta, but we'll get into that a little bit later.
Torta, right? Good for you, buddy.
It's funny.
Sir.
It's funny because like I pick him up, right, and then he gets in, and he's all like, "You think I'll be able to get some tortas today?" And I was like, "Dude, get yourself a double," and he did. But that was fun, man. That was super
It
fun.
was fun. Shout out
But,
Steven from Town. I had a question, boss. Last time we talked, I remember you were telling me that you were flying in from Canada in not the perfect attire.
dude.
But before I get into that, I want to ask you, how is it the weather from Calgary moving over here to Texas?
Yeah, how was the
You know,
life out
it's-
there?
Or the United States in general? Like,
Calgary's a beautiful, beautiful place. I recommend going there. It's not, I'm not being biased because I'm from there, but it's the foothills of the Rockies. In the summertime, I think the high would, you're going to reach 90 degrees,
Right.
but it's touching it, and then it's coming down. You know what I mean? And in the evening times in the summer, man, you can get away with shorts like we are, maybe a light jacket. You know what I mean?
Nice,
And then
Dude, you know what? I miss that. Nowadays, like right now, the other night, I woke up like at 2:00 in the morning, go take a shit, right? And I was on my phone, and then I look at the weather, and then it's fucking 92 degrees
Dude, that's
outside at
sad.
2:00 in the morning, dude.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's like that's just made my shit even stinkier. I don't know, dude. It's just I hate that. I hate this
Steamer.
the one wipers are gone, bro.
Yeah, like
yeah,
they're gone.
done,
Like,
so see you in October.
yeah, see you in October.
But the summers are awesome, dude, and like it's beautiful. Love the weather. Now the winter time's brutal.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, how does that?
Like in Calgary, because of the Rocky Mountains and foothills of the Rockies, you get things that they're called Chinook winds. So
hell's
it's just
that?
a wind that comes. They just call it Chinook winds, but they're warm winds. So one day it can be like 30 below, and that's cold.
30
and
below.
and then the next day it'll be plus 10. So there's a swing of like 40 degrees in
damn.
temperature.
Damn,
So
dude.
you'd be freezing, everything's frozen. Next day everything's melting. Next day it's freezing. So everything's icy cold. Like everyone's sick all the time because you can't figure it out.
You know what it reminds me of? Like, you know how El Paso is bipolar?
Yeah,
Like
man.
a bipolar cold El Paso.
Yeah, for sure.
Just
Yeah,
on
it's
and
just
off,
the
on and
opposite.
off.
Yeah, it's just too bad that we don't really get too much moisture out here, dude. It's just
It's
fucking
weird,
dry.
bro.
And it's funny because I'll talk to a bunch of people that are from out of town or whatever, and they'd be like, man, the weather here is fucking perfect, dude. You guys don't know what you guys got. And I was like, bro, take a shit at 2:00 in the morning with 94 degrees outside. Nah, it's not a good thing.
right now it's our monsoon season.
It's swamp ass season. That's what I
there you
call
go.
it.
It's everything's sticking
But-
to your legs.
Yeah, but when was it that you got into hockey? I mean, being in Canada, every time I do think of Canada, all I think about is like hockey, Justin Bieber and Drake. And
So I started when I was, I think, about 4. So my dad played junior. My dad was terrible. He could barely. He's a fighter, man. He's 6'2", 6'3".
He just did it to fight?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He can't fight. He's terrible. You guys would probably be better, man. But like when we were growing up, my brother and I, my mom wanted us to get in hockey. My dad's like, no. But it was my mom that actually got us into hockey. So I started when I was like 4 or 5, and I just kind of progressed. My brother played for a couple of years, and his coordination's all fucked up, and he stopped. I wish I had his size because he's a monster like my dad, and I don't know what happened to me, but anyway, that's a different story.
That's what I always ask my brother.
Somebody walked in, I guess. I don't know, but but no, I just continued playing, man, and just got a little bit better and better and better. And when I was growing up, we moved around based off my hockey, who had good hockey programs, and I was blessed to play for the Buzzards professionally for a couple of years, and retired due to too many concussions. And
yeah, I was gonna say.
So
So,
here I am.
how was it? How did you end up getting a call? about the the El Paso Buzzards. How did you end up getting into that team?
It's honestly a funny road. We talked a little bit off air about some of my journey, but when I was playing junior, I grew up in the shitty part of Calgary, with kind of in the hood. My parents didn't have a lot of money, and the organization that I should have played for in Calgary was, when I played youth hockey, we had a junior program, and it's kind of a filter, right? Like you should play for the team,
Yeah.
Right.
but they charged you. I couldn't afford to. They weren't going to charge me, but I got offered money to play junior in the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. So, what 18-year-old kid is not going to leave town to hey,
get
I'm making
paid
money
and-
when I
Cash
get
out,
paid,
you
right?
know?
Now, I'm not talking millions, bro, but
But a little
it's just, hey,
At
something,
18, shit, yeah,
especially
dude,
when
give
a
me
family
$5,
didn't
yeah.
have any money, right? So I played 3 years in junior in Saskatchewan, loved every bit of it. I got shit on from organization in Calgary because I left. It is what it is, man, politics, right?
Right.
And going into my last year junior, I had opportunity to play D1 and got into a little bit of trouble, and that kind of went
Changed.
away about as quick as it was offered. And so I settled to play in Calgary junior or college hockey. Played 2 years there. Team did really well. We went to nationals my second year. I led the team in scoring. All the stats and shit, but it was good.
Did you get any knockouts during any of those games?
Oh yeah, man. I love fighting, bro.
Fuck yeah.
But I've been knocked out about as many times as I did it too. So there's always tougher, right? Like
Right.
it's just like anything,
Life,
right?
yeah.
Like, but yeah. So I did college, and I remember going. We won nationals, or no, we finished second in the country. I had a year of personal stats. Led the league in scoring, all Canadian, all conference, and then we went into the exit meetings at the end of the season. Coach is like, I don't think college is for you.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, are you flipping kidding me, man?
Damn.
Like, and it's the first time that I've really got upset. Like, do you know what I just did? Now I'm talking about myself. Like, you prick, you know what
Yeah.
I just did? And I was just, he's like, college isn't for you. It's time to move on. So I was pissed. So I went out and I was like,
Probably after your best season.
it was,
and this
man.
guy-
Like,
had
again,
just
I'm
given
not
it
one
all.
of these guys that talks about how good I am, but at that time, I led the league in scoring and
Yeah.
all conference, all Canadian or whatever you call it, like the first team all star, that kind of shit. And he's like, you need to move on. College
Corey,
isn't for
you're
you."
too good, Corey.
No, not that, bro. But I had a good time in college,
Right.
and I was not your model student, but I still had the grades, right? For whatever reason, I still had passing
the job
grades, but.
done.
He's like, how? I don't know, man.
The
but I
job
made
was
it.
done.
Well, it's funny though. They said, they voted on captaincies, right? Like every team, like, we're going to vote on our captain, which is horseshit. My opinion. Even
That's
whatever.
how it works in that organization or in hockey in
that-
general?
Depending on the organization, we
Okay.
vote. But I'm not a believer. Whatever. It is what it is. So I was voted captain. No, coach said not a chance. So I was assistant captain, right? Like, it was funny, dude. I wasn't a
So he had something
Yeah.
towards you, know? Then,
You know what I
like,
mean?
was it something personal? You feel that it was?
No, it wasn't personal, man. I just don't think he liked my extracurricular activity and still succeeding on the ice.
Old
right.
school head.
I wasn't a bonehead teammate.
Yeah.
I just, my personality, I include everybody. I want to make people feel comfortable. I want to have a good time, man.
Exactly.
And I don't think he liked that. Well, he didn't. So anyway, I left, and I was going to play for the Rivals. I literally was. I was like, I'm going to go.
Who's the Rivals at the
It
time?
was. It was.
Savage, huh? Return of the Sith. over
That's
here.
some
Mount
heavy
Royal College. I was
petty
like,
shit,
dude, I'm
dude.
calling. I'm like,
say, yo,
but then
I'm gonna
I was
flip the switch
living.
over
dude.
here.
I was living. And then
Respectfully,
and then I was honestly like, got a phone call. The big joke around hockey and probably any sport, right? Like, hey, I'm the coach of North Dakota State, and I'm offering you a full ride. Holy shit, man! Really, coach? And then it's you guys calling.
that's a thing.
Oh man, it's a thing, bro.
Chess.
I've been there,
Who
done it,
knows,
the whole nine, man. So I thought the
they-
coach is like, hey man, this is Todd Brose from the El Paso Buzzards. Like, we like that. I'm like, yeah, sure, man.
No.
Yeah.
Can
So
you
I hung up,
imagine?
bro, and I'm like, dude, I'm not falling for this, man. I'm the king of this shit. Phone rings again, and it's Todd. I'm like, he's like, hey, man, this is Todd Bros to the team. I'm like, hey, Brosie, are you sure, man? He's like, yeah. I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry.
Imagine he never got that second call back, you know?
And then he's honest. He's like, man, and I go, I'm sure this isn't the first. He's like, no, man, it's not the first time. So, we had a conversation. They offered me a contract. And
what was your feeling during that time when, had we heard of the Buzzards before?
No, man. No.
He was just like,
El Paso, Mexico, man. My dad's like, where's El Paso? It's like old El Paso salsa. I'm like, yeah, Dad. He's like, that's in Mexico. I'm like, no, dude, it's not in Mexico. Look at the map. Because back then they didn't have freaking Google and phones.
Yeah.
We're looking on the map.
That's
I'm like, well,
crazy, dude.
big old map.
he's like, it's right here. I'm like, yeah, but it's north of the freaking border, man. So anyway, we talked a little bit before and came down here in September of '97, and here I am, man.
Can you let me know what you were wearing?
So September in Canada is colder, right? So I'm wearing jeans and I got my wool socks on, man. And I had a jacket on. Again, Google wasn't available back then.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I'm like, fuck, it's the same shit. Right?
The weather was on the newspaper, no?
Yeah, probably, but I didn't have the El Paso Times.
That's true, bro.
So whatever, dude. And the captain of our team, Brent Scott, was picking me up. Well, I used to fight his he's got two younger twin brothers, and we used to fight. I used to fight against them. Growing up in the hood in Calgary, and those dudes were ass kickers. I didn't do very well, but I was like, man, I hope Brent doesn't know this, because then he's gonna just abuse me too, right?
Let me have it.
So I get off the plane, man. I'm like, man, it's freaking warm, dude. Because I'm looking in the plane and it's starting to get warm. And
swamp ass hits.
Oh, dude, I'm like, freaking, I'm a donkey. So I get off the plane and I'm walking through the concourse. And back then the airport was under construction shit. Yeah. And people were like, who's this guy?
Right?
Like, dude, I looked at like,
Pinche mamon.
Not only am I a white dude, right? Like I'm dressed like a freaking, an Eskimo. Listen, so I come down. Remember when, you guys are probably too young, but the escalator came down and that's where the concourse was. And there's Brent Scott, our captain. He's got shorts on, a white tank top type shirt on, big Oakleys on his. He looks like Jay Leno. His head's the size of a papaya.
Oh, shit.
And his jaw's all jacked up, man. First thing he says to me, he's like, you're dressed appropriately. I was just like, what are you going to say?
No, yeah.
So anyway, he took me to the rink. And dude, when we walked out of the airport, man, I'm like, holy frick, is this brutal. The heat, man.
Like he thought he was going to
dry
heat.
Dude, I didn't know where, and I'm just like, I'm an idiot. So we go to the rink, we go to the Coliseum, and I'm like, this is the rink?
Is this America to start with?
Like, you look at the outside of the Coliseum, it's really nice and big and beautiful, man. I'm like, man, that's nice. We go inside and we walk up the stairs into the dressing room. We're in yellow chairs and just these things ripping around the floor. They're about this big, man. Cockroaches. I never knew what a cockroach was.
Yeah, I heard you talking about that on
man, like, what is that thing, bro? I'm like, where in the hell am I? So I was just like, whatever, dude.
Welcome to El Paso.
Right? So I dropped my stuff off and he's like, let me take you to the apartment so you can drop your stuff off and you can change. Because we have a team barbecue at one of the pools. I was like, okay. So I go to my apartment. We're up at Shadow Mountain. We're up, I can't remember the name of the apartment, dude. But my apartment oversaw a pool.
Cool.
Hey.
Right? And I was like, man, this is all right. I can get used to this.
I like this here.
So I go in and change. I meet my roommate. And different story. I'm not going to get into that. But met my roommate. Change. And we go to this pool party. And it was at our team, but we had two apartment complexes. And they were at the other one. And man, there's everybody there. And we're in the pool. I'm like, this is all right, man.
I could live here. I could do this.
So I remember we get into training camp. We start training camp. We're probably in 2 weeks. We're playing an exhibition game against New Mexico, Albuquerque.
Oh, damn.
And there's like 6,000 people in there, and it's freaking hot. It's like you're skating. It's quicksand, man. It's just miserable. You're not even on the ice, and your gear's already wet.
Damn.
Just because it's hot, man. Yeah. And whistle goes. I look at my teammate. I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, look. So I look behind the bench, and there's a fight going on in the stands behind their bench. The plexiglass comes in.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, man, where am I?
Oh, that was his introduction.
Like Canada, when the game's on, people watch, right?
Yeah.
And then when the whistle goes in, it's a party. Here, it's a freaking party all the time.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I mean? Back in the day. And so I'm just like, where am I, man? So I remember going back to my apartment that night. I call my dad.
Yeah, the regrets.
I said, Dad, this place sucks, man. I'm asking for a trade tomorrow. My dad's like, really? You think you're that good? You've been there 2 weeks, man. Oof. Who are you?
Yeah.
Respect to Pops.
Hang up on my
Oh, you don't want to hear
That
it.
was 1997 September, bro.
Yeah,
My second contract, I asked for no trade in my contract.
Wow.
I love it here, man. People are just the El Pasos are nice, man. People are awesome. I love the culture. I love the food. You know, my wife is Mexican. You know, my daughter plays for the Mexican national team.
That's beautiful.
In hockey.
Yeah, man.
I just love the culture, man. I love the people. I just think it's awesome.
You wouldn't change it for Calgary?
No, man. This is home, man. You know, I love the people here.
And if you could give one message to, you know how they say word of the day advice, because of like.
Do I have to give one word, or can I make it a sentence?
Like one advice you would give the youth, like.
Honestly, the follow your heart, man. You know what I mean? Like, dream, and go after that dream. Nothing's too big or too small, man. Just if you want to do something, do it. And if your family, if you're loving and kind, they're going to support you, man. You know, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to fall on your face. Get up and keep going, man. I'm a firm believer in that.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Don't let anybody tell you no.
Yeah. And you got to work hard too.
There you go.
Nothing comes easy, man.
Nah, man. The handouts, man. The days are, you know, I shouldn't say the days because today's a whole new world, but you know, work for what you want.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about your guys' podcast, man. I think you guys are doing a great job, bang up job, man. And you guys moving to your new studio, first one on it.
Yeah,
you know,
man. Yeah. That's
You know,
realized-
so just, you know, hearing your guys' story and what you're doing, man, I think you guys are bang job, man. And who knows what's this going to turn into?
Yeah, we have big dreams, we have big plans, but actually I like to say there's a quote that I like to read most of the time, and it says dreams with our goals are just going to be that, dreams, right? So when you're in the process of doing and working on your dreams, you're going to need two things. You're going to need commitment and consistency, because without commitment you can never start, and without consistency you can never finish.
Yeah.
And so every day, you know, sometimes it gets hard. There's a lot of work that we have to do. Like I have a full-time job, a family, a wife, kids. And so, yeah, it's hard. And it kind of makes you think like, fuck, is this worth it? You know, and, you know, you feel like that for a few minutes. And then after you're like, fuck yeah, it's worth it. You know, you keep working at it, and look at where we're at now. Like you said, we just got we partnered up with a new studio too. You want to tell them about this a little bit, man? Let them know about the studio. Let them know where they could find it. And yeah, man, shout out to Corey for being our first guest, man. We had to reschedule our pod a couple of times.
It's all good, man.
But actually, I'm glad that happened. I always feel bad when I have to reschedule for whatever reason it is. But this time I'm actually glad it happened. You became our first guest here in this new studio. But Chewy,
I want to give a shout out to Anthony Austin Brown. We were talking, chatting it out, and he actually threw Genuine Studios in the mix. And sure enough, Misa got a phone call, like if we can show up and chat with the guys. And sure enough, shout out Chris.
Nice guy, man.
Super
Chris,
cool, super cool.
Curry,
we just became friends right off the bat, build a friendship, a networkship. Like anything we can help back, and if he can help us back, we ganged up. And you guys are gonna be seeing some cool content. Shout out Corey, super cool. Next guest coming soon. Just a lot of hard work that we've been put in, and like you said, bro, I didn't even notice until like you were bringing it up that we have a new studio, because
sometimes
you're
crazy
about
the
us.
loop and it just happens. But
yeah, shout out to Genuine Studios, man. I think it's gonna work. I think the partnership that we created is awesome, just because their mentality here is the same.
Yeah.
They're always looking to progress. They're always looking to surround themselves with people that have the same ambition and dreams. And so shout out to them one more time, man. We're super excited. We're excited to bring all of our new guests and even our old guests. We wanna also invite our past guests back out here, give them that good experience of having this awesome studio as well. But but moving on, I wanted
What's crazy before you move on, though, this used to be our workout facility.
Yeah, actually,
how crazy is that?
That's what me and Chewy, when we were talking to Chris, and we were planning out everything and talking about the whole place, and I asked him a little bit about this place, and he's like, "That's funny." Oh, because he asked like, who you guys plan on having on next week or whatever? And I was like, well, we have our boy COREY HEON, the president of the El Paso Rhinos, and he goes, oh, that's funny, man. What a coincidence. This place used to be the gym. Yeah. And I was like, no, shit. It was meant to be, I guess. It's destiny. And here we are now.
Yeah, man. That's crazy. Good for you guys, man. Beautiful setup.
So I appreciate you being
during that time that you were playing, this is where you
Not when I played. So this used to be a workout facility for the Rhinos. So we had I can't remember where we were on the building, but we used to have a skating treadmill. We had the dead weights, all that kind of medicine balls, all sorts of crap in here. We had for a time being, we had a merchandise area where, we could buy equipment and stuff like that. We had showers, and it was cool, man. It was a good setup.
Yeah, that's crazy. I thought it was such a big coincidence. But how long did you end up playing for the Buzzards? And
2 years, man. 97 through 2000. I think it was 98. Yeah, and just too many concussions, man. I just, I probably should have retired a couple before, but it's hard, man. I love the life. We got treated like rock stars here, man.
Yeah.
When we played, and you could do no wrong, so to speak, and just the reception of the community was insane.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the Buzzards being a big deal too here when I was younger. But when it comes to the concussions, right? Was it a decision that you made yourself, or was it like a doctor had to tell you, like?
Well, it was actually my coach, man.
Oh, really?
He's like, you're done. He's like, you're never playing again for me, and I'm not trading you. What? And I could have went and played somewhere else. That's it's not. But that made me realize that it's probably time.
Yeah.
And I notice it now, like with some of the symptoms, because I have a tough time sleeping. I have horrible headaches all the time, and just there's obviously other things that go into it. Like I had surgery on both eyes because the muscle tendons started releasing. You know what I mean? So it looked like I was half asleep all the time, and after some research are saying it's probably from concussions. Just whatever. Mm-hmm. So I just it's. You need to take concussion seriously now.
Right.
Back in the day, like, oh, you have one, just keep playing, kid.
Yeah, or you didn't know what a concussion was. Man, your head's hurting, you're like, whatever.
But again, like, I'm glad the time that I got to play professionally, at the minor level, it was awesome. Mm-hmm. It was a really, really cool deal, man. And we just had a lot of fun, man.
So it's been a while since you actually played on the team, but like nowadays, do you still put on your skates and you start?
No, like it's different. Like, I'm at the rink all the time, and usually adult hockey is in the evenings. The last thing I want to do is go back at 9 o'clock to play.
Yeah.
And just like, I don't know if you guys have played sports, so just put yourself into, you're putting in your time all day at your work, and then you get to go home, but then you got to go back and you want to have fun at it.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to.
It's not the same. Yeah.
I used to.
Yeah.
I coached my daughter up until she was about 14. Which was great. Got to help her develop, and I kind of turned the reins over to some of the guys on the team now. Like the coaches will work with her quite a bit, and it's just a different thing. But my last game that I played, so Corey and I, the other Corey, he's like, man, let's play again. So we signed up for the adult rec league, right? He doesn't even show up. Signs up, doesn't even show up. So right, yeah, like I should have known better. So I played the first game, and they're all local buddies, and we know everybody, right? And played the first game. I was like, I was all right. So the second game I play the first period. I take the face off to start the second period. I was like, man, this shit ain't for me no more. Skated by the bench. I'm like, see you later, fellas. I'm out.
Like that?
Right there, and then you're like, yep.
I'm done.
Yeah, you have to know my personality.
Right.
Yeah. Everybody knows my personality. I'm like, this shit ain't for me, fellas. I'm out.
Yep.
See ya.
See ya later.
But it's just, I don't have any desire. My wife gets mad at me because, when my kid's in town, she's like, why aren't you on the ice helping her? I'm like, there's guys coaching her right now. Right. But it's different. You're not out there. And I'm like, I understand. I'm sure my kid wants me to be out there, and I told her this summer I'll get out there with her, and
that's cool.
To work with her and stuff. But
yeah, actually, Camry is her name, right? Yeah. Camry. So when I was doing research, I ran into a couple of articles about her and stuff, and I found it very interesting. I mean, obviously, her dad being being involved in the hockey life, and I was reading that she pretty much grew up there watching all the games. But I also was reading that she didn't really want it. She didn't really like it. She used to hate it.
Yeah.
And then at one point, she saw that there was other girls doing it out, and that's what kind of helped her. But she became extremely good, like you mentioned. She played for the Mexican national team. Tell us a little bit more about what else she does and what she's up to now.
So she obviously still plays. She plays for Culver, Indiana, Culver Prep School in Indiana. So she's recruited to play there. She's going into her senior year, high school, and she also plays for the Mexican national team, which is awesome.
So she has a dual citizenship.
Yeah,
right? That's awesome, dude. Yeah. That's freaking cool. Shout out to her, man.
She speaks Spanish?
Oh yeah, dude.
She's a true El Paso.
She speaks English, Spanish, Mandarin, Chinese, French, and she does a little bit of sign.
Shit. Does she know tequache?
So she's a good student. She's very studious. And I don't know where she gets that from because I was not really. And my wife obviously certainly doesn't get that gene from me.
Yeah, they get the brains from the wives for sure. Man.
She gets the looks from me. You know what I mean? Thank God she looks like my wife. She's got my forehead though. But no, she plays and she does modeling. She models.
Yeah, she was on the City magazine cover, right? That was awesome, dude. She's done a lot. And she's 18 right now.
She's 18 and she's a little bit of an influencer here locally, and she does some stuff. And I know we're gonna get her on your show.
Yep,
I think that would be cool.
But that's cool. Is it just one child that you have?
Yeah, just
one
Cameron.
kid. And now, did you ever want to have like a boy maybe to kind of follow your steps? Is that an idea or something?
We've obviously every dad, I think, I want a boy. But honestly, at the end of the day, when my wife told me she was pregnant, first of all, I didn't think I could get pregnant, or not me, but I could have kids just because of what was going on with me.
Estoy embarazado.
And yeah, exactly. Hey, fella. So she was pregnant, and I was the happiest dude around, right? And then, I didn't care if it was a boy or a girl, but I'm so freaking, I want to know because, again, I'm that type. I need to know. So.
And there's no gender reveals.
No, man.
You had to wait.
What are you trying to say, I'm old, bro, or what? No. That's not cool, Chewy.
No, I'm just saying.
Making fun
I
of
remember they
turtleneck
used to have the little pill things like that.
Sick turtleneck you got going on, fella.
She was born 18 years ago. That's not that long ago.
He's poking.
She's so dumb.
So, but I just wanted a healthy baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when she came out, I'm like, man, this is the hairiest kid I've ever seen. I was like, let's put her back in and find another one. You know what I mean?
Can we trade this one out?
I was like, seriously, bro. I'm like, hey,
return
this. You know what I mean? And like, she was terrible looking. She had a stretched head because I used a freaking thing on her.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, alive.
Dude, I created that.
That's mine.
I did that there, bro. But I'm a very, I don't know what the word is, man. But I'm just like, don't mistreat my kid because I'm going to mistreat you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a firm believer in that. You mess with my kid, I'm going to mess with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm watching these doctors, clean her, the nurses clean. You know how it is, man. Dude, that's my kid. Slow down, bro. And so, and you have to wear the bracelets from the delivery room to where they freaking put them in the incubator, and because of security and stuff. I'm like,
oh, for real?
Yeah, man. It's just security, right? So I'm like, I'm watching. So they don't just do the old switch the baby thing, even though I was hoping maybe they would. Cause
so that dad mode.
But I was just like, but man, it was
the nature hit.
It was awesome, dude. Best thing that's ever happened. My kid is just a beautiful. You know what's so cool about my kid? And you're a parent,
right?
And your wife's.
Oh shit, I am.
And we always talk about our kids like, man, I don't want to be that parent where I talk about my kids all the time. Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of times I am, and I don't give a flip.
There you go.
You know what I mean? I don't care.
Yeah.
If talk about your kid, man, be proud because
conversations always pop up regardless. I mean, it's just like how we were talking earlier. The conversation always happens regardless it's whether nature, you plan it or not.
And I'm what I'm really really happy about my kid is she's as beautiful on the inside as she is on the outside. And I think I told you guys this story.
Yeah.
My wife and her went to a birthday party years ago, and she was maybe 7 or 8 years old, and the birthday girl had a special needs sibling. And so the group is playing over here and the little kid's playing over here. Well, my daughter went over to play with her. And the mom of the child went up to my wife and said, hey, thank you. My wife is like, what for? It's like, you didn't tell your daughter? She's like, no.
It's all
That was all my kid. And, you know, I always tell that story.
That's love.
Because that's
kind
her,
of
man.
person
Out of the
she is.
heart.
You know, she's a good human being.
And she was only 7 years old, dude.
You know, somewhere in that range.
Kids
But
don't know
you know, my
different,
wife and I want to say we do a good job parenting. My wife does a beautiful job with a lot of things that she does. And then I'm the muscle where it says you misbehave. You treat people the way you want to be treated, kiddo, because it's not cool when you not treat people that way.
Well, you guys have been doing a great job. I mean, look at her. She's only 18 and she's been doing so much, and it looks like she has a great.
But half the time I want to strangle her, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Homer
Give her
Simpson.
in the forehead.
And so I can't miss. You know? And she's like, you think I should talk?
Yeah.
Dude,
oh yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
She's been around hockey her whole life, dude.
Oh,
and some of the
no
stuff that she
filter.
comes home with from Culver, and I'm like, Cameron, you can't say that.
You play like a girl.
You can't say that. She's like, why? I'm like, dude.
Chill
Like,
out.
I wouldn't even say that. You know what I mean? My wife is like, you look what you've taught her. I'm like, what do you mean I haven't taught her shit, man? Like,
That's genes right
That's
there.
her.
That's
she's a cool cat.
That's the
man. She's a
Heon
cool cat.
genes right there.
Shout out to your daughter.
Yeah,
Thank you,
shout
I
out to her
appreciate
one
you.
more time. Shout out to her. We'll
Have a
soon
bright
we'll get
future.
in contact with her and we'll get
She'd
her
love
on
to
here.
come on, man. And she's
But,
just now you want to hear somebody tell stories about me? She'll go full,
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Like,
she'll go full blown, bro. She'll go full blown.
do you have anything to say about your dad talking about your forehead? But we'll get into it. But
You know what she did to me? And
She
she's
goes,
she's terrible, man. You know those. Again, I'm not a social media guy, so you know you can. Hey, Dad, let me take a picture of you, and then they take a picture of you,
The
and then
filter?
you're dancing like a. Right. So,
chicken
and usually
nugget?
I catch on, right? Because she's like
laughing.
she's like, hey, Dad, let me take a picture. I'm like, sure, man. She takes this picture, and like 20 minutes later, she sends it to me, and it wasn't a very cool picture. I'm dancing like a fuck. And what I'm wearing, and like I was just like, dude, really?
damn, she's getting
like,
it.
she's got a
Technology.
she's like, I'm saving this for a rainy day, Dad.
Ooh, got him.
You mentioned that you coached her up to like the age of 14. When I was doing research, you also became a coach, right? You coached hockey.
Yeah, I coached our youth program. So I've coached, mainly my daughter, right? So when she started, I could just kind of moved up, but I also coached our high school teams. Back when we had a Franklin team and a Coronado team.
Yeah, I was
That's
looking
right.
into that. I mean, we went to Franklin together, graduated 09.
14.
But I never even knew about a fucking hockey team that they created a hockey team. I don't even know if it's going on still.
So we have, back then we had two because just the numbers were that great. But it's not your traditional, it's everyone from Coronado or everyone from Franklin, right? There was players from, all over the place, sort of speak,
okay,
right?
okay.
Just because there's not enough volume. And the league allowed that.
Oh,
right?
nice.
Not a true, but we're allowed to play.
So what teams do you guys play? Like
So,
other
New Mexico teams.
Oh,
like
okay, okay.
Cibola. I don't know. There's a bunch of teams up there. And we just got back into it last year. Just because we were out for a while, just because our numbers were down. So we started it, and we're kind of revamping the league this year, which is really, really cool. Yeah, man. So I coached that. We won state. Yeah.
And by revamping, what do you mean?
So when I say revamping, just like everything, the people that get vested in these leagues, and we're guilty as ever, right? I'm not saying that we're not, but usually there's a parent involved, right? Like we'll use me as for example, right? I coach my kid, so I'm vested with my knowledge, my experience, and that age group when I move on should be coached well, right? Just like the people that run leagues, they're doing it because their kids are in it,
Yeah.
right? And I'm being very honest, man. And then when you pass the torch, is that person that's coming after you going to do the same job?
Right.
And no disrespect to anybody.
that,
It's just how it is what it is, man,
Expectations.
right? And it changes. And now if you have somebody that's involved that isn't vetted or vested, I should say, what kind of effort you're going to get into?
What's the future?
You know what I mean,
hold
right?
into?
So it just, and again, times COVID happened and numbers fell apart, and there was somewhat of a league, and it just kind of dissolved, sort of. So we got together with some of the associations, like, hey, man, are we going to do this? Because we're going to do this. Let's do it right, man. Let's have stats, that have schedules. Try to make it what it
more
was.
legit.
Professional.
So parents want that. Right? They want to be part of something that
technology, it
has
comes
some
with upgrades,
organization.
Yeah.
Grandma and grandpa that are sick that can't come to watch. They want to see their kid play.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Right? Like, and they want to see stats. Kids love stats.
Yeah, dude.
Who
Who doesn't
like-
like stats?
And with technology comes progression. You got to upgrade, and that's cool that you want to actually embed it stats and That's pretty cool. What if like a mom is sick or can't make it? You know, there's times she can just
Jump online, man,
Watch
and
your son.
watch the kids.
You didn't do shit.
and she can
Exactly.
say,
That was
she
my
can
old man,
say-
bro. My old man was hardcore.
Yeah.
Oh man.
They can bust that excuse that no, you didn't go to my game. Yes, I was.
Exactly,
I
right?
was.
Yeah.
My dad never missed a practice.
Oh, he was
Nice.
one of those.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
If I
Get
didn't,
back in it.
if I wasn't,
My stepdad was like that too. He never missed a practice, but because he was our coach, we played Pee Wee football and stuff. And during that time, he had met my mom. I was like 5 or 6 years old, and I was really into soccer during that time. Like that's all I wanted to do and play. And one day, my mom's all like, "You guys are playing football," and I was like, "I don't want to play football." and shit. And I fucking learned to love it. I played it all the way through high school.
That's
and
cool.
but yeah, it all had to do with my stepdad. And the thing is what I liked about it, I mean, not at the moment, is that he didn't cater to me. He didn't put me like as a favorite, you know, like he even had other players that were his favorites and not me, you know, but that kind of like made it to a point where like I had to prove myself, you know. He's not just going to give me the starting position just because he's my
It's good,
stepdad,
man.
you know, and
earn it, bro.
yeah, and it helped. It helped all the way through middle school and high school. But yeah, I wanted to ask you, man. You were coaching, and then you eventually became the general manager of the El Paso Rhinos. Tell us a little bit more about that. Now you're the president. Tell us how that came about, how you got involved, and what the future holds for the El Paso Rhinos.
So when I jumped on, when Corey said, "Hey man, why don't you come on full time?" He's like, "Come on as our GM of the junior team." Back then we had one team, and the building and all that's involved. I'm like, so then we settled that, and I came on board, and then COVID hit, right? And we all know how that went. Everything was shut down, and we were literally going into our third year that we're going to be champions again. Firm believer in that.
That's
And we had a freaking
COVID.
solid team, man. And I remember Dallas was coming to travel here for our first round of playoffs. And the rumor was going around that it's going to shut down because of this flipping COVID, right?
COVID,
and-
that a bitch.
fucking Rudy Gobert.
So I remember getting a call from the coach. He's like, "Hey, man, like we're like 3 hours out, and I just got a call from the league, said we got to turn around. Everything's done." I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here."
Damn.
And I was like, "What?" So I was like, and I was the first call. I was like, "Man." So I go to Corey Harmon. I was like, "Hey, dude, they just shut us down." He's like, "Get the hell out of here." So they shut us down, and they dissolved. Like, didn't even postpone or whatever, as we all know. So everything just kind of, the season dissolved.
Just paused.
And then
like just canceled pretty
just
much.
canceled. It's over, man.
Like Thanos,
there's,
bro.
There's no winner. And we were the repeat champions anyway, so wow, I guess we were taking it back. So then the league decided they were going to go dormant for the next year because COVID carried on so long, and we couldn't afford to do that because
the future.
we're just going to lose everything, man.
Yeah.
Like we're getting this train rolling, we're doing good. So we got her going, and we joined back to USA Hockey, and now we have the two teams. And so after going into year 2, I think it was year 2, we had an opportunity to bring in a gentleman that huge knowledge in the game, huge resume. His player pool was huge, and Steve Jennings, and he was available. So I reached out to him. I was like, "Hey, Steve, man, like, sorry, you lost your gig, but come on, man."
Yeah.
So we were fortunate enough to bring him on board, but we had to give him some sort of title, right?
Right.
And I could care less if I'm whatever.
Exactly.
So, we moved him to the general manager as for both teams, or for the North America team, and I guess I'm president.
It's, yeah.
Here we are.
You know what I mean? And that's just what it is, man. Like, I don't. It's great. Titles are titles, man. They
Yeah,
are-
yeah,
they
yeah.
are what
As long
they
as
are,
the
man.
job is done.
You
at
see
end
the
of
same
day.
people on the way up as you do on the way down.
Yeah,
man. So you better
yeah,
treat
big
people the way
example.
you want to be treated, right?
Mhm.
And
So what's the future? What do you guys have planned out? What vision do you have for the
we
El
want to
Paso
win, man.
Rhinos?
Win.
Asset seats and stuff.
What's
like that.
great about our organization is obviously winning is an expectation, but when these kids come into our program, they come in as kids,
Right.
and they leave as young adults. We try to just hold a structure where you're accounted for things. You make a bad decision, you're going to be held accountable.
Right.
Depending on how bad the decision you make could very well be determined if you're going to be here or not.
Exactly.
Damn, yeah.
Right? And we go over this before the season starts. So both our coaches for our North America 3 team, they're former players. You know what I mean? They've came back and they want to be part of our program. So that says a lot, in my opinion, of our culture, what we've built for former players that want to come back to be a part of it. And, you know, Corey Herman's done a great job of nesting this and building it and continuing to grow it. You know, the dynamic it's changed, right? Like he focuses on more of the vision, so to speak. How can we grow this? And I
try and make it happen.
Make sure we get there.
Nice.
You know, and that's kind of how we do it. We got some great coaches involved with both teams. We have a new youth hockey director that's been going on to his second year with us. We got him from out of Minnesota. Great kid. And he's brought some different ideas and to help our youth, and he's done a great job with that. So yeah, man, just grow and help these kids, give them something to do, man.
Super exciting, man. When does the new season start? This
September. I think our first game is September 20th, regular season. Now, August 3rd. I think it's the first Saturday in August. We're gonna have an all-star game from our black and orange game.
Wow.
So we have our training camp for the North American team, like end of July and ends August 3rd. So we're gonna have that all-star game, which is gonna be free to everybody.
Nice. No way! You hear that, guys?
So it's packed. Yeah. So it's packed in there. So hopefully you guys can come and watch.
No, definitely.
I promise you there'll be a couple tilts. I just talked to our coaches now because we have our main camp in Detroit right now, and they said just today there was probably about 4 or 5 already. So
that's what I'm waiting to experience. But when it comes to home games, how many home games like all combined do you guys usually have?
Between both teams, man, it's like, forgive my number, but right around 50.
Oh, no way! That's almost once a week.
Anytime after September, 20th through April, guarantee there's probably a game on the weekend.
Wow,
nice.
That's super
nice,
cool. And
dude.
if you could tell the community, like, how do I say it, like, to give it a chance, bro. Because some people, like, I'm not gonna lie, me, like the Latino community, I talk about it like, and no knock on hockey, bro, but I get this all the time.
I get it, man.
I don't fucking watch hockey, bro.
We're not Canadian.
And I'm like, bro, but it's fucking on. My bad for my language, but it's on TV. I grew up playing inline hockey at Tobin Park.
I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, it's all right. It was fun, but I got into hockey, I got into football and basketball because it was so far. Like, and then they moved one into Donovan. I was on the west side. Yeah. And it just disappeared, and just the sport kind of got away.
I think what it is just people aren't exposed to it, or they don't give it a chance. I mean, the hockey teams have been here since forever, right?
Well, did you guys know there's a pro football team here?
What?
Yeah, man.
What? We have a pro.
Like they call it pro, but yeah, like there's stuff in the city that I have no clue about.
You guys hit me up, man. I want to know about this pro football team. Y'all need a quarterback.
To be a pro rugby team. Remember those days?
Yeah, we did.
But a lot of people never knew that. But you're absolutely right, man. Like, I guess whatever your niche is, you follow it, right? Like for you, we talked about soccer, and like, I like the World Cup. I don't want to go see the what are the team?
Pumas, the Bravos.
What's the team that plays here?
Locomotives.
The Locomotives.
Come on, boss. You got to give them a chance.
I'd like to go, but like, could I see myself buying season tickets? Probably not.
Right.
But it's just not my thing, man.
It's understandable, but you got to give it a chance.
I want to go. Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
They've been around a long time. I said, this year I'm going to go, but nobody ever invites me.
I'm going to invite them. We're going to take them. We're going to take them.
I'm glad you guys took the hint.
And most definitely, I'm gonna take your hint, and I'm gonna actually, like, because I did watch the finals, and I saw that the Panthers actually won, and I actually I saw they lost last year, so when I saw that they went against,
it's the hardest cup to win.
Really?
I don't care what anybody says. So you're playing best of 7 series, 4 rounds to win it, right? Yep. So basketball does the same thing, right? But I think the first round is like 5.
I think,
but they do
the same thing.
But is it whatever? Yeah. See, it tells you how much I know. But you're basketball. That athlete, I've never played basketball, but that's a special athlete. Yeah. I think that's the most well-rounded athlete. I truly believe that. In the sporting industry, right? Just because you take a beating, man, you run up and down that court. Freaking soccer too, man.
I wouldn't say any sport,
and it's a fast-paced sport too.
It's more intense.
But the Stanley Cup final, man, you're playing every other night in a different city.
So the traveling, bro.
I did not know this. So
the sleep.
So the first round. So for instance, like, so the finals are a little different. But say Edmonton or Florida are playing in the first round. So let's say game 1 is tonight.
Okay.
Game 2 is 2 nights from now. You get a day off for travel, or you play 2 games in the home city, and then you travel, but you're playing every second day.
Oh, way! So you have like
And the teams stay in all sporting and all pro teams when they hit the playoffs, they stay in hotels.
Yeah.
So whether you're at home or not, you're still in a hotel.
Yeah.
So if like the Florida Panthers and so others, that's over 2 months of being away from your family.
Yeah. You're just on the road traveling,
You know,
hotel to hotel.
while doing a
Airbnb.
physical sport.
those
That's
guys, like,
crazy,
honestly,
bro.
you can commit murder in the playoffs.
Just crazy.
Yeah.
It's just a.
I need to get more into it.
And,
To be honest, I need to
I've
get
been-
more into
We
it.
need to give it a
Yeah,
shot, bro.
for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure. And I should tell my Latino community, go out there, have fun. Honestly, I didn't know this, that you guys, and I when we met, I asked you that the rink is open all year
Yeah.
long.
You know, I taped the podcast earlier today, and we changed our
Congrats.
setup a little bit. So we had the set so you could see the rink because
rink.
we had our figure skaters out
That's
there,
cool.
and it was kind of a cool deal. And they asked like, "Oh, you guys are open year round?" And for me, it's like, yeah, silly.
Mm-hmm.
But for people that don't know, yeah, like we're open year round. You know, we have public skating on the weekends, Saturday, Sunday, 12 to 3, 7 to 10, Friday, 7 to 10. During the week, we're open. You know, but it's crazy. It's
You guys also have them after the games, right? You guys
we
open
do, yeah,
the
it's
rinks
free
up.
skating for after the games for anybody that wants to skate.
Awesome,
Our
bro.
players are out there, win or lose, because man, I don't care how bad you lose. The fans don't care.
We're still a family.
You know, they want to meet the players, so you
Yeah.
better put that smile on your face and
Yeah.
shake little
That's
Johnny's hand
super
that's coming
cool.
to want your autograph, bro.
Yeah.
Because the minute you stop, this stops. Everything is a
Yeah,
full circle, fellas.
exactly.
No, yeah, people are there to support, and I'm sure it feels good for the fans to see.
You know, it's a funny story, man. When I played with the Buzzer, we used to do the same thing. So there was this little girl and her family that I was her favorite player. And so every game I'd skate with her after, you know, and she was a little girl, man. So I'm taking classes at Park University, right? And I'm like, I see the teacher's name or whatever, and I'm like, huh?
No way.
And she saw the roster, and she's like, huh?
Wow.
No
It was the
way.
same little girl, man.
No,
Wow,
that's
that's
crazy.
So
super
now she's a
cool.
season ticket holder at the Rhinos, and I actually had her on the
No way.
podcast, man.
Oh, nice. Actually, I'm
she's,
glad.
she works. I can't tell you where she works, but
That's
she's
so
she investigates murders, man. With the
Oh,
brain.
cool. Okay.
It's like,
damn.
yeah.
That's super cool. Shout out to that
Damn.
fan and that. What's a life?
It's a criminal psychologist
Yeah,
or something like that.
I can't tell you who she works for because she'd kill me because she whatever. But
Yeah.
oh
yeah, dude,
she's
that's
got that one of those minds, you know.
Yeah, Sherlock Holmes type style. But that's cool. You, now that you're bringing it up, Crash Course Podcast is
Yes,
what
sir.
your podcast is called. I found it pretty awesome, man. I feel like you do so much, and I love the fact that you're passionate about it. But Crash Course Podcast, tell us a little bit about that, how it started, and what the vision is for that.
So, I used to travel with the team all the time, and we had our own bus, and our bus driver's name was Troy. I'm not going to say his last name, but he was a retired Special Forces guy.
Oh, Troy.
Yeah,
I
man.
don't know.
Detroit.
Detroit.
Yeah.
Retired Special Forces. You know who MacGyver is?
Mm-hmm.
He's MacGyver.
Oh,
Oh,
damn.
He could build a bomb out of a freaking pen.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
shit.
And he's the smartest individual that I've ever met. He knows something about everything, and he's. I always tease him because he'd have these. I don't know what the hell you call him, but he'd believe in something
Mm-hmm.
that was conspiracy.
Right.
He's one of these conspiracy guys, right? And I was like, dude, you're jacked up. Anyway, so he's like, we need to start a podcast on the road. I'm like, dude, we can't. You drive. He's like, yeah, we could do it from the road. I'm like, great idea, bud. And I said, honestly, it would be fun because his personality is a lot like mine,
Mm-hmm.
which would have been fun,
Good
but
chemistry,
it was
yeah.
probably not a good idea for multiple reasons. So we've always talked about it. The other Corey and I, and so probably back in September, October of this past year, he's like, "Hey man, what do you think?" I'm like, "I'm tired of talking about it.
Yeah.
Either we're gonna do it or we're not gonna do it." And he's like, "Well, who's gonna host it?" I'm like, "I can. We can't afford to pay anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'll do it. I can BS with the best of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't care."
Yeah, you've had some great guests, man, from Crystal Poppin to the Takeover Show. You've had our girl Stephanie Hahn. Shout out to Stephanie Hahn.
You've had
Still
the
gonna beat her, bro.
You've had Cade McConnell from the football UTEP quarterback. I saw that you had Kelly from KTSM.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have
Huge lineup, bro.
a lot.
So you asked what our vision.
yeah,
is.
what's the vision?
Honestly, I don't think we have a vision, bro. I think we just want to have, a platform where fans can dial in and listen. Because we do during the season, we'll have our coaches on.
Mhm.
And we'll talk about the previous weekend and what's coming up.
Right.
And then we'll have somebody on. And, we just want to educate people. Like I'm not looking to be freaking the next Joe Rogan.
You could be.
You know what I mean? I just want to have fun, and because it's fun talking to you guys. I get to come on podcasts, have a good time, network, and do different things to help the local people grow. If we can be a part of that, great, man. If they can help us grow and draw people to the Rhinos, even better, man. Yeah. But it's not about
No, I think you guys are doing a great job.
Speaking about merch, man. That is the
Shout out
sickest
Nubis.
turtleneck I've ever seen.
Because I had to hide that triple chin chin, dog.
So
I want to give a shout out to Nubis.
that's a sick shirt, bro.
It's our little logo. But,
Chewy, tell him why he's giving you shit about your shirt, dude. The second guest that gives you shit about your shirt.
I put it on backwards.
He puts it on backwards because our logo's in the back.
But I wanted to ask, why or how? I saw you guys had a contest on how to get the name Crash Course.
So we just like we did with the Rhinos, like, hey, let's just have a contest, right? So we opened it.
The Rhinos name came with a contest as well.
Mm-hmm.
You mind explaining that?
I don't know the details on that because I wasn't truly part of it, but it was a little girl.
Oh, dang!
And that we went with it.
That's super cool.
And when I say we, I wasn't really part of it at the time, but we mon ami.
We on the team. We.
So we opened up the podcast to name it, and I honestly didn't know what a crash was. Do you know what a crash is?
I did my research now, but can I tell you?
Yeah, man.
So a crash is, do you know?
No, tell me.
A crash is a family. Oh, let me see.
It's a herd of rhinos.
Yeah, rhinos just running.
Oh, no way.
So when that's we did it, somebody's like, oh, the Crash Course. And I was like, man.
Sounds dope.
I chose something else, but, there's anyway, I didn't.
Big foreheads podcast.
Yeah, it's foreheads. There was something growing on it. But no, when I understood what I'm like, man, that's so fitting, right? Yeah. So
I heard of rhinos,
man. I heard of rhinos running,
and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. But before we keep moving on, would you look into this camera right here and let people know where they could find it and where they could follow you on social media?
Crash Course Hockey Podcast. We're on all platforms: Spotify, YouTube. What else? Apple Podcast, and then you can follow me at host_Heo_CCH on Instagram.
Yeah, we're gonna have all that information.
We do a lot of fun stuff like with contests and stuff like that. Once the season starts, we'll do some stupid stuff and
man,
pictures away.
I think we talked about stuff like that, and then we thought about like a celebrity type game.
They brought that up, and you wanted to hit me. You want me to be a goalie and get hit with a a la madre.
That would be
hilarious. You guys go check out our episode on the Crash Course, and Corey wants me to get as a goalpost and take some slap shots to the head.
Right.
But I saw that you interact with the community. Something where you guys tag on the ice.
So we do a paint the ice.
Paint the ice.
So we usually do that towards the end of the season. Usually one of the last games. But we invite the fans. It's free. You come out and you get a little, some paint, and you can go out in there and draw whatever you want, man. And we take pictures and post out. It's probably one of our most popular events.
Really? That's super cool. I remember seeing it on the news. Cool.
Yeah, it sounds badass. All this sounds really good. I think what you're doing here with El Paso Rhinos and with your podcast, man, I think it's taking it to the next level, and I'm sure a lot more people are going to start hearing it. We want people to go and sell out these games, guys, and go enjoy and actually support these guys. These guys are playing for us. They're representing El Paso, and what you're doing is great, man. And so we're coming up to an hour here now towards the back end of this pod. So what I want to do now is I want to go around this table. I want us to give us like our final words or word. You want to say one word. But yeah, let's start off with Chewy. Chewy, final words, please.
Well, before we, one thing, I had one question about the bridge proposal that's going on in town that you guys were involved in. What's going on with that?
So that is for them taking the county property, whether it's the event center where we play or the Coliseum, that's dead now. So I just went to a meeting this week, like Wednesday or Thursday, something like that, where they come up with the different options, and the Coliseum, anything to do with the Coliseum is completely off the table. There's some different options that's going on. That they don't touch any of the property down there. There's one where they move the commercial traffic and don't touch anything with little renovation, and some where they do a little bit of renovation, but it's not major. But they still really need to get rid of the commercial traffic because it is doing a lot of harm in that community down there. And but again, we're off the table, which is great. But there's still a lot of work to do for the communities down there because it's it is a problem.
Yeah, definitely is a big problem. But that's a good question, Chuy. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, that's a good one, man.
Yeah,
It made me think a little bit, bro.
Well, coming from Juarez, I see that a lot. So I see it on the news, and I thought I'd ask you because I saw you posted on your page the other day, and I thought it. But I want to say my final words. I appreciate your friendship. We built a cool little family here.
Absolutely, man.
I'm happy for the future of the Rhinos. I actually becoming a bigger and bigger fan of the sport. Just talking to you guys, and that's how
I appreciate that.
I hope you guys can take some words too. But I want to give a shout out to the Genuine, and I just want to give a shout out to me. We're doing it.
1 year anniversary.
1 year, man. 1 year, guys.
Awesome.
1 year of the Takeover Show. We will have a podcast where we're gonna go and kind of have like a year review type style podcast. So make sure you guys are following and subscribing. But Corey, man, final words from you, dude.
You know, I appreciate you guys, inviting me on your show. I think what you guys are doing is great. You're including all avenues of El Paso and beyond. There's you have a wide range of topic, and you graduated to year 1, man. You surpassed it. You got the new studio, which is badass. I'm the first guest, which is even better, man. But I think what you guys are doing is incredible. Keep doing what you're doing, man, because I think what you guys are doing, sky's the limit, fellas.
Yeah, I appreciate
it. For anybody that's listening, these guys are the real deal. They're a lot of fun, man, and they're genuine, and they're awesome.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for those words, dude. And just like Corey said, man, we do this because we love meeting new people. We know that there's a lot of great people and great businesses in El Paso, and you being one of them. And so, what we want is we want people to really fall in love and see what El Paso is. El Paso is great. We have great people, great businesses, great events, great everything, guys. And all you got to do is just open your eyes, open your ears a little
100%.
bit. Go out there and give it a chance. And next thing you know, you'll be having a blast, and you're going to love this place even more. But thank you so much, Corey, man. Since the first time we met you, you've been so down to earth, hilarious, dude.
Good guy.
I love the fact that we could talk shit to each other and keep it cool, man. As well. I love people like that, man.
You have to, man.
Don't change, you do have something on your forehead. I hope that shit comes off soon.
Culo.
But
next time I come on, bro, it's gonna be talking to you.
Oh fuck!
You know what I mean?
Throwing gang signs and shit.
It's like, what's up, fella? Chewy, will be blowing kisses at you and talking.
What's up, baby? You torta?
help out with your torta, man.
Yeah,
What's
I
up,
wanted to say. So yesterday, shout out to A Town Talk podcast from Anthony, which you should talk to them, man. They're the biggest podcast, actually the only podcast from Anthony.
But they're doing their thing.
They're doing their thing. They invited us over for a podcast yesterday at Wet and Wild for the neon paint party that they had out there. Dude, it was super packed, fucking so many people, dude.
Fun.
The water was extremely dirty by the end of the night, but it was such a badass spot, man. They had a little gazebo for us, man, and it was just us. It was a great podcast, good times. And what was funny is when I picked up Chuy, he's like, hey, you think I could get myself a torta today? And I was like, bro,
myself a torta tonight?
Bro, I was like, dude, make it a double. And dude, before the night ended, Chuy found himself a torta that disappeared for about 45 minutes.
Attaboy.
And he came back extremely happy. And this morning he was like, guys, why don't y'all stop me? I almost fell in love. And
So Wet and Wild, thank you for the second year for the fun.
Chuy got wet and wild for sure. For sure. But it was pretty fun. But guys, thank you so much, man. Another episode in the books. Please make sure you guys are following, subscribing. Make sure you guys are following our boy COREY HEON and the El Paso Rhinos. Also, guys, please make sure you guys are safe out there. Make sure you guys are staying cool. And most importantly, y'all make sure to stay fresh. We are...